When you really, really want something, that's what we call specific manifestation. So when you really, really want something, then it's really, really given to you. It's really, really being summoned. The energy is really being summoned. It's really being given to you. So if you really, really want something, that means that you really, really, really got to be a match to it. Because we don't have to teach you how to want. That already happens. Life is causing that naturally. Desires are naturally coming. In fact, contrast is never going to turn off. The contrast of your life experience is what you came here to experience, and that's exactly what a creator like you needed. You needed a reason to focus. You needed to experience things that you didn't like so that you knew what you would like. You wanted to have these moments of clarity. You wanted to have these moments of your preferences literally being born, and you always intended to follow the rocket. You always intended to go with the rocket and not talk about why you want something from a place of not having it, because ultimately that's the thing. When you really want something and it's really not coming, it's because you're really talking about the absence of it. You know, life is so good here on planet Earth, and it really is no question as to why all of us decided to come here on this leading edge where our thoughts are literally turning into things. You came here to have life cause desires within you, to have these dreams, to have these things that you call dreams that are maybe far-fetched or maybe completely normal depending on your belief factor. Regardless of the fact they were dreams, there were these visions in your mind, there were these ideas, whatever it is that you want to call them, they were your fantasies, and you understood from your place from the non-physical because you were source energy before you decided to extend yourself into this body, and you still remain that very same source energy from which you came from while you're in this human extension or this personality known as you. You understood that this universe, that this time and space would have the wherewithal to provide you with all of the resources so that your dreams could be fully realized. That's how we all came, because all of our dreams, all of our ideas could become fully realized. This is a leading edge. This is a place, and the only place that source energy is focused on, where all of the thoughts, all of the focus of source energy is really turning into physical objects. So when we're talking about really, really wanting something, what we're really talking about is wanting something that's so in your mind, that's something that you know for a fact that you really want, that life has shown you multiple times over and over again. And the desire that you've been wanting, it's not going to get any smaller. The desire is not going to get any smaller. So do you forget it? And ultimately, if you can't forget it, yes, because when a desire that you really want that doesn't feel good is because you have resistance. So a desire that you don't believe in, meaning you have a desire and the belief factor is not there, that desire is not going to feel good because you're going to split your energy. And for the most part, you're splitting your energy because you have a habit of belief about how things have been going, the odds, the likeliness of it happening today or tomorrow. You talk more about, you crushed a dream, you killed the dream without understanding that this very same place from which the dream came from is a very same place that you have to maintain, that frequency you have to maintain, because the very same place where the dream came from is the very same place where all the details will start to fill in. When you're embarking on this quest for manifestation, where you're having this list and you're wanting to knock everything off, and you understand, hey, my desires are not getting any smaller, in fact they're getting bigger, so that means my allowing factor has to become bigger. Then what exactly are we talking about? We're talking about the conscious of your time and space. We're talking about the perfect balance that this universe is governed under, which is the fact that in every particle of your universe there's wanted and unwanted. So this is not a conversation to get unwanted all the way out of the picture. This is a conversation about focusing on the wanted, because the unwanted is always going to be there, the contrast is always going to be there. So it's not about having that perfect mindset, it's not about being happy all the time, it's about momentum. When we're talking about law of attraction, we're talking about momentum. Your thoughts are turning into realities, the thoughts that you give more of your momentum to, because literally, we're not even kidding you, whatever you're thinking equals your point of attraction, and that's what your vibrational emanation is. So we'll say that one more time. Whatever you're thinking equals your vibrational emanation, and your vibrational emanation, your mood, your thought, your opinion in this now moment, it literally equals your point of attraction. So on whatever subject that is you're wanting, even if it's a subject that you even want urgently, that subject, you have a belief about it. You have a vibrational temperature that if you were to take, you would be able to understand the vibrational journey. You would be able to understand exactly where you are in relationship to your desire, and we call that your guidance system. So that means if you take the vibrational temperature and you're like, yeah, this desire feels relatively good to me. A desire that feels relatively good to you means that more of the time you're not resisting it. You don't really have a belief that challenges your desire. In fact, your desire is a healthy desire. You're able to maintain that desire. So that desire is healthy, and you will see evidence of it not very soon, but you will see evidence of it shortly. It will come very fast because it is a law. And if you take your vibrational temperature regarding any desire and you find that you're a little bit iffy and you try to cover it up with your words, but we're saying don't cover it up with your words, because the universe is not listening to your words. The universe is listening or operating or vibrating or responding to your vibrational emanation. So you could say, yeah, but this, with pretty words, you could cover up your, your empty gas gauge with a smiley face sticker by saying, you know what, this is desire is feeling good, when in reality, for the most part, this desire makes you feel scared. Every time you think about it, you feel like changing the channel. And we're saying then change the channel. You see, if it's a desire that you really want and you really don't believe in having, what's the downside to it? What do you do? That's interesting. So now we're branching into something that's very interesting. What exactly do you do when you want something that you don't believe in? You have to learn how to believe it. You have to start on subjects that are easier first. You have to build the momentum. Law of attraction won't just allow you to jump over there. And honestly, we want that for all of you. But to be honest, we really don't, because we like the journey. We like that. From where you are right now, you can get to wherever you want to go, but you can't get there in a one fell swoop, because that's exactly what you call your death experience. It's about this gradual release of resistance. It's not something that you're going to do all at once, because you didn't create all of your beliefs all at once. You have proof. You crafted your beliefs over a long time. And here's the thing, we're not here to talk about the validity of your beliefs, because ultimately all of your beliefs are true, because you're the perceiver of your own life experience. You are the creator. So if you believe something to be true, meaning you give, all a belief is a thought that you continue to think over and over again. The thought that's most practiced or most dominant, the thought that's more readily available. So when we talk about the subject of abundance, financial money, what's the first thought that comes up in your mind? That's your belief. That's your most dominant thought. That's what you have to work with. So you could lie and you could cover it up, but ultimately the law of attraction is always responding to your vibration, and your beliefs are your beliefs. We're just saying that your criteria for focusing can't just be on only what's real, because when your criteria for focusing, meaning whatever you're going to focus on, you're going to give your attention to just because it's real, then you're in for a really tough life experience, because unwanted, since every subject is really two subjects, meaning wanted on one side and unwanted on the other, then you're not really giving either one at a time. You're vibrating in two places at once, so you don't really go anywhere. That's the thing about our friends who understand all this. They talk, they have a lot of good vibrational habits that they're not going anywhere bad, but they're not going really good, because they keep splitting the energy. So they're just in this weird place where they don't really see movement. And the movement really is all about this momentum piece. Because here's the thing, you got to talk about your desire. When you talk about what you want and why you want it, which really, is the answer to the question. When you want specific desires, talk about why you want it. Talk about what you want and why you want it. And when you talk about why you want it, you're more likely to be in the pure desire. You're more likely for that desire to feel good. Because here's the thing, when you're manifesting something, when you're embarking on the path, what exactly are you looking for? How exactly? Because in this vibrational journey that we're talking about, when you're driving in your car, you have a GPS system that tells you, okay, you're going to go from here to there. And as you're going from here to over there, you're going to see signposts. You're going to see signs of your indications that you're heading in the right directions. So what exactly is that? Is that same indication that you can count on in this vibrational exploration that you're calling your life from one point to the other? You know what that is? Your emotions, how you feel. So what exactly are you looking for? You're looking for a desire that feels good to you. You're looking for it to feel good to you. And how do you make a desire feel good to you? Talk about why you want and get very general. You have to be willing to get very general. Contrast is not going to turn off. Your desires are going to get bigger, but you know what always remains true, and what remains true as you continue to watch these videos and understand deliberate creation and understand your place in all this, and just exactly who you really are and what that feels like, your ability to get to the vortex is at an all-time high. This live stream, this contrast, life is not going to stop. Life is coming at you, but your ability to maintain your balance throughout all of it is exactly what we're talking about. We're trying to get you to fall in love with this unconditional alignment, because ultimately with specific manifestations, when we're talking about urgency, sometimes the what is can be so enamoring, meaning you're talking about what you want, but you're also talking about what is, and so you never really get anywhere, because when you're trying to manifest something, you look for the physical manifestation, you look for the physical signpost, so to speak. What we're saying is that you're not going to see your manifestation until it's done. But your job is to maintain your faith, maintain your belief. You have to hold the frequency of it for enough time, and don't stop until you see it, basically. So what we're saying is that when you think about your desire and it feels good, you nailed it. That's it. That's all you have to do. As long as it feels good to you. But see, this takes us to a really interesting area, because if the desire feels good to you, and then you know that, then you're expecting your desire, but you're seeing your desire as a future tense. You're seeing your desire as somewhere that you'll get off at the next station. What we're saying is what you really want is the emotion. What you really want is a healthy desire. The life that you're looking for is the ride on the stream, is the ride that you get when even the speed that you feel when you're going in tune with your desires, when you're aligned with your desires, because the desires that have resistance, the desires that you don't believe, feel the worst. And that's what's so interesting. That's the evil in everyone's life experience, is that life has caused them to want things and will continue to make them want things, but they're not going. And so that's the thing. That's why when we hear our friends talk about, I don't know who I am anymore, I've never really know what's my purpose. It's not that you don't know your purpose. It's just that when life causes you to want things, you don't go with the rocket. And since you don't go with any of the rockets, you don't know who you are, because you're not being deliberate about your vibration. You're just sloppily vibrating. And so that's never going to work. You have to enjoy the journey. You have to understand that there's a momentum, there is a process, and you have to learn how to trust the process. And honestly, we don't love saying trust the process, because what we're saying is, it almost sounds like just sit there and be quiet. We're not saying that. We're saying get in there and think about your desire. But it's this game of sometimes you want to be general and sometimes you want to be specific. It's all up to you. Because imagine you're driving a car at 5 miles per hour and you hit a tree. That's going to be a lot easier. You know, the impact is not going to be as intense as a car that's going 100 miles per hour and hits a tree. The impact of that crash is going to hurt a lot more. But that's the thing. So many of your friends, when they understand the momentum of thoughts, like, okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to just go 5 miles per hour and then there'll be no tree, right? But what we're saying is that, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go 5 miles per hour and I'm not going to allow anything to hit me, because then I'll always be able to control it. We're saying, you want speed. You're built for speed, right? We're just saying, get all the debris out of the way, get everything out of the way, and then you can go fast. And what we're saying is that in you going fast, the pain is that if you hit a tree, it's going to really hurt. What we're saying is that good, it should hurt you. We want being out of the vortex to hurt you, because you don't need to be out of the vortex as long as you think you do. Just enough to have life cause a desire within you. That's enough. You take the balance, you take the desire, you take the value of it, you take the benefit that this contrast gave you, and then you go with the rocket. Because the hardest part of going with the rocket is the fact that you still have this reality that you feel so responsible. But we're saying this reality is not that real. It's really not. This reality, you don't owe anything to this reality. What you owe a lot more to is your dreams. What you owe a lot more to is a desire. And so a desire that feels good to is a desire that you're going to see manifested. You're going to experience it soon. But don't allow the physical manifestation to be the prize. Let it the emotion right now. Let the sitting here right now and talk about why you want it be exactly what you're looking for. Because we know that when you talk about why you want your desire and you talk about all the emotions, it really feels visceral. It feels real right now. It feels good. It feels pleasurable. It's fun. And that's what you're really looking for. You're not looking for that full manifestation. And while you are, though, you really are, but not in the sense where that's all that there is to the game. There's a lot of joy along the journey that you will be having. And you learn this from school, which is work hard, and once you finish, you'll finally be able to rest. But we're saying that's not how reality works. You see, reality, you can't cajole the universe. You can't use your words. You can't use your action. You can't beg. You can't plead. You have to vibrate what you want. You have to match it. You have to talk about it as if it's already here, because it is already here. You have to talk about the vibrational version. You have to fall in love with the vibrational version. You have to put a rest the absence conversation and start this presence conversation. You have to talk about why you want your desire a lot more than you talk about it not being here and why it's not here. Because here's the thing, your investigation is now closed. The reason why you don't have any of your desires is because you keep talking about why you don't have it. You keep asking as if there's an answer. The only answer is sloppy vibration. And you know what the only solution to sloppy vibration is? Meditation, sleeping, doing whatever you can that makes you feel good, so that gives you that running chance. So now when you're thinking about your desires, you have more space. You have more space to react. So now when the opinions or the beliefs that don't feel good, that challenge your desire come, you have more space. They don't latch on, they don't hurt as much, their teeth don't sink in so fast. You have a space, you have the time to react, you have a space to choose a thought instead of allowing a thought that normally comes pull up and bother you. Because ultimately this is all about the game of fun, but it's not the game in the sense where you're here to win something or you're here to prove a point. Because ultimately when you get into the vortex, you do not have statements of I made it, I did it, this is my life's work, this is my life purpose, this is why I came over here. You don't have statements like that, because those are all statements that you're making when as if someone else was saying them about you. You're looking at yourself through the eyes of other people and you're making claims. And ultimately competition is not wrong, but it only hurts you when you try to look at yourself through the eyes of others and you try to make up their opinions, because ultimately you feel responsible to their opinions of you. You feel responsible because you have to play a part in society. And we're not saying don't do action. We're not saying, meditate all day long. We're saying get connected first. And sometimes when you're connected, you're going to be seen as weird, because when everything is going wrong, you're here. And you know why? Because you know the ultimate skill. You know exactly what to do. You know the skill that makes masters, which is keeping up to speed with your desire, which means talking about why you want it a lot more than you talk about it not being here. Because you know the difference between those who are really successful and those who are really not. It's not the fact that they don't both want it. It's the fact that the masters want it, but they don't doubt it. The masters want it, and they talk about why they want it. They talk about why they want it. They talk about they love the dream. They're geniuses at the dream. They know how to talk about the dream so much that when law of attraction shines its light on them, its magnifying glass on them, law of attraction thinks that, hey, since you're vibrating this, you must be a billionaire with this big ass empire. And the person who's not successful, they're split. Their energy is split. They're saying, I want it, but I don't see it. I want it, and I don't have it. But you want to switch the conversation from I know I want it, but to you want to get rid of the but, and you want to talk about, I know I want it because it's fun, because it's easy, because it's sick, because it's gonna be so amazing. And ultimately, even if what you want doesn't come, at least you had fun in the process, at least you had fun in the dreaming of it. And we know that even in us saying that, we know that even in having that sort of low stake, the lighthearted approach to life, where it's like, okay, even that unconditional alignment, which is even if it doesn't come, at least I had fun in thinking about it and dreaming about it, then everything that you want has to make its way to you, because all signs, especially when we're talking, leads right to the vortex. So friends, when you really, really want something, it's really, really given to you, and you really, really got to enjoy the journey now. You really, really got to enjoy talking about it, because ultimately, this game of focus will never end. There'll always be the wanted and unwanted, and ultimately you will always be a little sloppy. There will always be this resistance, because you know why? Because there's reality that you're seeing. You're observing reality. You can't help but notice where you are in relationship to your desire. But we're just saying, talk a little bit more about why you want your desire. And the best part of this that we love is we want you to enjoy it. We want the emotion. We want you right here, right now, keep being up to speed with your desire, talking about why you want it, enjoying the emotion of it. We want that to be the prize that you're looking for, because when the emotion is the prize that you're looking for, then you understand creation in a way that puts you not above, but puts you light years ahead of all of your peers. It makes you a master. And a master of what? And a master of your own ability to focus.